Alright, good morning y'all. Wiggle here. I have cleaned up these valve covers and I ended up just using this moderate 3M paint remover. Kind of like a kitchen scouring pad, but a little different. I got the oil. Then I scrubbed it down. I degreased it with, put some brake cleaner on a rag and wiped off any potential grease. And I cleaned it up on the outside fairly well with brake cleaner, but it's not perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this oil resistant gasket maker, just a thin seal, only on the valve cover side. That way when I take off, if I ever take off the valve cover, hopefully the whole gasket comes with the valve cover. It doesn't stick to the engine, and hopefully it'll help with oil leaks. So that's the way I've always done it in the past. I'm just doing what I've always done. I don't know if it's right or wrong. So anyway, I'll show you what I'm going to go ahead and put a little layer on here. All right, here's my little thin bead of gasket maker. When you're using this stuff, be sure to put a nail on the end of your nozzle so it doesn't all harden up and you'll never get to use it again. So I would just set and this valve cover is rounded. It's not flat. I'm used to having a flat surface, so it's kind of weird for me. I just set it on there. Make sure the gasket's kind of centered on all directions, like so. Just push it down on it a little bit. Just kind of glue that gasket on. Took my gloves off so I wouldn't be getting oil all over my gasket. Alright. I got a pocket full of grommets. That's for the top of these valve covers. I'm going to walk over. I'll be right back. Here I am. Recording, yes. All right, I got my 210 pounds of torque on. I went to Lowe's and got a Craftsman torque wrench that goes up to 250. It was only 50 bucks. It was $45 off. Then I used my card and I got 5%. So it was like 50 bucks with tax for a big long torque wrench, and I needed it because 210, you're cranking on it pretty hard. So I got it all cranked down, put my push rods in back there, got my rocker arms here, so the 4 rocker arms, and then I guess this is the valve train that holds it down. So I didn't adjust anything, I just left it the way it was. I made sure to put the right side back on the one that was already there, and I degreased that surface for the gasket. So now I'm going to slide this on here. Alright, so I got it slid on there. And I got the little grommets underneath them. I didn't silicone those. So I'm going to go ahead and torque them down just a little bit, just enough to kind of push evenly on the valve cover. I'm not going to get too carried away with tightening them. I just want to snug them up. Then I'm going to clean these gasket areas a little better. And then these go on here, and I'm going to silicone these, because they've got a curve to them, and I'm going to probably wait actually until I get ready to put that tube on. There's a little tube that you screw into that. So I'll clean it all up before I start assembling that breather tube or whatever it is. I guess it's like a crankcase ventilation or something. So anyway, this is where I'm at now. Getting it back to waterproof too, that's just good. If it rains tonight, it's not going to hurt anything. But I definitely want to get my injectors in, all my manifolds. But I'm on the winning end of this thing, as long as I don't lose any parts or anything. So I'll update you. I'm going to get ready to go have breakfast. Alright, here I am. I got a couple of little sprinkles, not too big a deal. So I got the fuel injectors and all the rails. And it looks like this thing is hooked to some kind of timing belt or something. So it squirts the fuel at the right time that the cylinders need it. It's on a timing chain or something. So my wife asked me, I didn't know the answer. So apparently this looks pretty elaborate, pretty expensive looking part. So apparently it's part of the fuel injection system. So anyway, I got the valve covers on, I got the fuel rails on. I'm working on the exhaust manifold right now, and I scraped the old gasket with the razor. Then I hit it with my little brush, nylon brush, 80 grit. Cleaned it up. Looks pretty ready to me, so I'm just going to go ahead and find the bolts and try to get that thing on there. Talk about anticlimactic. I got it all buttoned back up. Put a little water in the radiator because it was bone dry. Checked the oil, it was good. Full, no water in the oil or anything. And as far as I know, I got everything buttoned up. But the anticlimactic part is that the battery that I took to Tulsa, 9 volts out of 12. So I got nothing as far as being able to get the starter to engage. So I got it on the charger here. Come back in a little while, see if we can get this baby to start. I don't know what else to do. I'm missing 4 intake bolts, but as soon as I remember that they were missing when I took it apart, I'm going to have to round those up. 4 studs there, they were all missing the nuts on there. But pretty straightforward to find them and put them on. And it's just air. Naturally aspirated air, so big deal. And I did find a broken head bolt, or broken exhaust bolt in the head, which I did not break. It was already broken. That one top right there, just barely sitting in there. It was broken off down deep in the head. I guess I should have tried to get that out. I forgot all about it. But we'll see how the exhaust does. It would have probably been pretty tough to get that one out. I wouldn't want to ruin a head over it. I think you'd be better off having a little exhaust leak than to ruin a whole $600, $800 head or whatever. I think you can get a bare one for like $400, but then you got to put all the valves and such in there. So I'll let this battery charge, and I'll come out here and we'll see if we're back in business or not. And look at that radiator, man, that thing is filthy. I'll have to take that shroud off and clean all that stuff off, just grime off that radiator. It isn't going to do anything. So, we have fuel, we have oil, we have water. I will have to put antifreeze in it. Freeze on me. But this thing hasn't been getting water for a long time because that head gasket would just blow. You put some water in there, it wouldn't last long. So I never put antifreeze because it'd blow all my water out. So anyway, I'll let you know. It was raining, so I hurried up and got it all buttoned up so no water would get in the motor. So I'll be back with you. I'm going to go get cleaned up.